you of this summer? Your song that reminds you of this summer, put it in the comments so I can see your songs. I feel like that is the song of this summer for me. So that I keep, it's like when you think back, I want to see your songs. What's your song of summer 2022? Put it in the comments. Okay. We are here. Barbie, I'm just going to make you co-host so I can stop with the thank you. Cool. Hold on. It's like not letting me. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Just for the waiting room, it's getting distracted. Okay, awesome, you guys. I want to know who, drop a 1 in the chat if you were at Celebration. Drop a 1 in the chat if you were at Global Celebration. And I know we have some new people here, new people. Angie, my girl, she is new to the team. And I think this is the first team call she's on. So if you weren't at Celebration, that's cool. Welcome, Angie, right? If you're brand new, put a 2 in the chat so that we know, because I know there are new people joining and it's so fun, you guys. It's so fun. And I already told her we're going to sit down and we're going to watch it all back together. So her husband was the best man in our wedding. And so I was like, dudes, you're going to take the kids so we can sit down and watch it together. So, you know, that's part of this whole thing. Take and bring everything back too. I love it. Steph, you're new. Welcome. Steph and Berto. Welcome. Welcome, you guys. Absolutely. So happy to have you here. Okay, I am going to share my screen also because we're going to start with some, I'm on the wrong thing. I'm going to start with a little bit of, okay, any wins, any gratitudes, recognition, throw it in the chat so that we can see. I would absolutely love, where's my presenting thing? This is like in my way. There we go. Absolutely love to see, you know, put in the chat any major wins. Maybe your win was getting to Celebration. Maybe your win was having teammates there for the first time with you. Maybe your win was like Lindsay Hofberg kind of being in 2 places at once, you know, having both a wedding to be at on the West Coast and Celebration on the East Coast. And she made both happen. And she, you know, I just saw her do it seamlessly, even though I know behind the scenes there was probably a lot there. Maybe a win was sharing your story for the first time, or an enrollment that you had, or teammates that you're running to the Mexico Tulum trip this fall. Just share some stuff in the chat so that we can see, okay? Because I know so many great things are happening on this team and we want to see. So just a little bit of kind of debrief before. So we have so much to plug into, you guys, on this team. We have our Monday Huddle weekly with Kelly. If you, and I see it says returns August 8th there. So she's back and live on Monday Huddles if Monday daytime is a good time for you, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, you can hop on the Monday Huddle with her. And it's honestly just such a good intimate way to be with Kelly every week. This summer series call, we have every Monday night, be plugging your teammates in. And then Tyler goes live every week. And so just know that that's in the Impact Makers group on Facebook. If someone invited you to this call and you're not yet in the Impact Makers group, ask them if you know, just say, hey, I want to be in that group. I want to see all the good things that are happening. And then company-wide vision calls, you guys, start tomorrow morning. Okay, so tomorrow morning, this group of the top leaders within our company will be kicking off these vision calls that are happening. And it's really the field put together by the field for the field. So all of these field leaders have done before us, multiple 6 and 7, you know, so many of them 7-figure annual income earners right here. Zach Slobin is doing the first one tomorrow morning. I'm super pumped. So 9 a.m. my time. These are morning calls to kick off your Tuesday. And I honestly think like so much of this celebration event was about us just rowing as a company, rowing in the same direction. Do you guys feel that? Like, did you feel that? Put a 3 in the chat if you felt that. It is like so much of what we're doing is to just all be on the same page so that, because we know a rising tide raises all boats, right? And so we can rise as a tide together. And I really do. And, you know, I talked to Kelly a little bit. I think it was at the gala. I said, you know, that vision call, all of those names on there, all those people, I love to see you guys on there and that we're just all so aligned. And she said, Allison, these are like we are so in lockstep as a company, like never before. And I'm excited for all of you to learn from all of these people and collect their stories and see who you resonate with and who your teammates resonate with. Because would you agree, this celebration, the content, the messaging, the vibe, the energy was like the best we've had in, if not ever. Okay. And then today is the last day for 15% off site-wide, all customers, associates, 200 or more. I just wanted to call that out, 15% off. And then your celebration live stream. So this is available for you until October 12th. And right before this call, I made sure that this worked for me. So if you go under view and manage events, click on my tickets, you can click on Celebration 2022. And if you were there, there's a view button now. So you can click on it. You can watch all of the trainings. You can click and just pick Jesse Itzler or James McLeod or PVC 123. You can choose. Okay. So I truly plan on going back and going over this stuff because it just made my heart sore sitting in that room, listening to the training, taking it in. But I do think it's easy for us to then get home and, you know, be like, okay, life happens and it's end of summer and school year starting and what am I going to do? And I'm so excited, but I just need to pause and sit and soak it up again. And we really learn both through repetition and then also through doing, right? Learning and action and learning and action. And so go do that. Maybe do a watch party, just as I plan to do with any of your new people or people that weren't able to be there. And it's really just so special. And then Isa Tulum. So this is the next, who here put the word Tulum in the chat. If you're going for this trip, it's all about enrolling and rank advancing teammates. Enroll in, and there's different criteria for different amounts that you earn. So you can go to, I went right to isagenicsbusiness.com right before this. You click on the promotions tab and there's Isa in Tulum. And the trip dates are there for you as well. So just so much goodness coming from the company on all of those fronts, like there's promotions, there's training, there's new product like the NAD. Today, I wanted to touch on my product. We try to use product in the spotlight as things that we typically order. And while I am like truly personally really excited about the NAD Plus, I don't have a testimonial about it yet. So I didn't want to talk about it. Today, I wanted to talk about this has been one of my absolute tried and true in every single shipment, every single day. I start with the Isagenix coffee. Who else out there does? I know you guys do. So put coffee in the chat if you do, or just say me. I want to see, because you guys, to me, as a coffee drinker, and I know some of you specifically crack open your Bia first thing in the morning. But for me, coffee is a ritual first thing in the morning. It always has been. Just the taste, the warmth, the smell, everything about it. This coffee, when it first came out, I very much paid attention to the fact that the pH of the coffee, the acidity, is extremely close to water. So it's not super acidic. It's not hard on your tummy. It doesn't create heartburn or, sort of like this after effect or this like, this feeling in your gut. It, they lace it with, for lack of a better phrase, they lace it with green tea extract, trace minerals, coconut oil, and it's a small batch process. And it is the smoothest, most incredible flavor and just body that I've ever had in coffee. Like I don't travel without it. Anytime I go on like a family trip, or I'm always bringing a bag of coffee and being like, hey, it's organic. Honestly, that price. I used to buy beans at like Starbucks or Dunn Brothers. I would buy like the beans, very similar price, but we get BV. This is just a simple way to just add on to your order basket for all of your customers who are already coffee drinkers. Okay. So I absolutely love it. It's like truly one of my staple products. I would be so sad if we ever, got rid of it. And then the upcoming dates for events. Okay. So limited time. Well, first University in Action is this fall, November 4th through 6th. That is the next event. And I know you guys might be like, well, Allison, we just got back from event. Why are we talking about the next event already? Because every single event then, and this is just truly, I mean, this is how we have built, this is how Jake and I have built, this is very much a culture on our team, is one of our main tools that we are always using is building to the next event. Because the way that you feel right now, those of you who were in Orlando, I want you to envision having 10 times the number of people that you had at this one. Imagine even just having double. Okay, let's just start with that. Imagine that you had 3 people with you. Imagine if you brought 6 and you had 6 people coming home clear and, you know, bold and bulletproof and, 10 feet tall and ready to go. Now imagine if you had not just 6, but 12. And then imagine if you had not just 12, but 24. That's how, I mean, that's how the vision becomes bigger than yourself. And that's how individuals become anchored and rooted in Isagenix, whether you're there or not. Because I want to empower others. Like my true goal is that others are connected to the company and they're connected to their other friendships and they're connected to the bigger vision of Isagenix for themselves with or without me. Like that's where true freedom comes from. That's where true residual comes from. When people, you're introducing people and guiding and mentoring and launching and partnering and locking arms. But these events, they do more than I ever could do. And I celebrate that. I love it that way. Right. So let's think of how can we empower, get people to Philadelphia, the health of your team. Truly, if you look at the sum and the culmination over the year, the health of your team is directly correlated to how many people you're getting in the room at these events. And so University in Action, and then next year the limited time price. Who snagged the 99? I already got my husband and I both tickets. It's next summer, right smack in the middle of July, right over my birthday. I'll spend 41 with you all, turning 41. And that's next summer in Orlando again. So excited. The price will go up, but if you didn't grab the 99, be sure to grab the 159 that's out there. Okay. And then really what I want to talk to you guys about, and I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because I want to see your faces. I want to see your faces. Awesome. Okay, cool. So yes. Okay. Because all these comments are coming in and it's like, I see a screen. Okay. I would love to spend just a little bit of time hearing from you guys, and you can either put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself, because I want this to be a little bit of a dialogue around what most landed for you at this event. And because it's not just what landed for me, again, it's what landed for the collective. It's what landed for people, because I want you also to see how different things land for different people. Okay, so I'm going to pause. What landed? What were your favorite parts?
I'll go.
Yes.
I would say, so one of the things for me was on Thursday, actually, at the training, when one of the girls shared how she only shared products for a really long time and she was still making a really good income, but that's what she was sharing all the time.
Yep.
And how Patty told her, if you never talk about the business, you're never going to have a business. And I was like, well, duh, Teresa. Like, for real, if you think about it, you get so comfortable talking about the products, but she, like, not that this is, average, but she like quadrupled what she was making in a matter of a year by talking about it. She told her that she said that she challenged herself that for the next 60 days, every conversation that she had was going to be sharing with someone about the business instead of solely talking about a product.
Yeah.
And that was really powerful. And then also, I'll say Jessie was phenomenal. Like, I don't know how you can't be moved by that. Pretty much was crying the whole entire time. And then also with Emily talking about breaking the rubber band, because for me, I legit just have a picture of myself with one of those big exercise bands around your waist and leaning forward and it pulling, and all of that chatter inside of your head is behind you, chasing you, and you just pulling it until it just snaps. And I was just like, "Ah," like that's super powerful for me. So
Yeah. Yeah. I bet you were like teary in the moment, or like, you know, just
oh, I
listening,
was like,
right? I mean, bawling,
yeah,
right? And that's when the breakthroughs come, because I mean, and we all have things that we think are pulling us back, or, you know, I want to step forward into this, but this is like clawing me back. I mean, there's books about it. If you haven't read The Big Leap yet, like self-sabotage, and like, you know, have you read The Big Leap, Teresa? Yeah. So I mean, you know, there's so much that is like where we want to go next level, and then this, you know, and we tell ourselves, as I always say, right, the most valuable real estate we have is right here, like right here between your ears. Okay, good, thank you. What else resonated? What?
Lindsay has her hand raised.
Oh, your hand is raised. Lindsay, talk, please. Funny, I'm not used to looking
I
at hands. I know, I was like,
I wasn't sure if someone else was speaking
no,
and my phone was
talk.
cutting out.
I
I'm
know, I
done with
was
the
looking for, I
soccer
was like,
field. Hi, hi, hi.
yes, no, Lindsay, please talk.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
so funny. Well, just real quick. So I was not there for day 2 at all. I flew out really early that morning. So I have started watching it, and I can't wait to watch Jesse. Obviously, you guys, I received 1,000 messages about how amazing that segment was. And Allison, I'll say this here because I know a lot of these faces weren't on Power Hour this morning, but there were some, Barbie, you were one, I'm pretty sure, but a couple women that shared on the Power Hour this morning, they had their children watch. Barbie, maybe you weren't. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth. There were a few people that had their children watch the Jesse segment. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. Like, I need Corey to watch it and the kids to watch it when I do. So I'll plug that. But one thing that hit me very hard, and I never came into this industry expecting to have fast success and it not be hard and there not be ups and downs. You guys know I went to college for 8 years. Like, I believe in working hard for things and the long game. However, how many people do we work with that think they need to walk right in month 1 and be a crystal executive and then be a 1-star month 2? And the expectations are so high for whatever reason in network marketing. And I would always use the analogy of school. I'm like, well, listen, how many years did you go to trade school or any school to get your degree? Okay, well, you took a long time to learn that. Don't you think that it might take a little bit of time to learn network marketing, right? That's always been my analogy. Michael Klaus stepped up on stage with Lynn for but a moment on the first day, if you guys remember. And he said, I'll take this out of context, but it takes 9 months just to grow a baby. And then it takes how many more years for that baby to then even be able to talk with you? And I'm like, look at how much time it takes to grow and cultivate and teach things. Why are we not giving that same grace to ourselves? And why isn't everyone who enters our organization giving that same grace to themselves? So that was just a beautiful analogy we all can use just to remind people that things can take time, and that's okay. And honestly, good things should take time, right? So that was kind of something from Friday that hit home for me, having not seen a very powerful Saturday yet.
Yes, Linz, I love that. And we do. I love that. We're hard on ourselves. And we're harder on ourselves than anyone else. And that is, I mean, like I really truly so much felt from the hearts of the people on stage, and just the interactions and the hugs and the messaging. Like, we are in the safest place to learn and to grow and to fall over and to stumble and to pick ourselves back up and still be safe. And you know what I mean? Like, just the culture of just do it, just do the messy action. And, you know, if you screw up, the mentors and the leaders that you look up to are there to pick you up and to say, oh my gosh, kudos to you for trying, and kudos to you for being here, and kudos to you for just simply like being in the game, right? And being in the ring. Like, there's that whole, I think it's Theodore Roosevelt, like, it's not the critic who counts, it's the one in the arena actually daring greatly, right? And so we get to show up and we get to dare greatly, and that's really what this next season is going to be all about. Awesome. Thank you for that share, Lindsay. Ashley, now I know to look for the hands. This is great.
Yes, no, thanks, Allison. I think one of the things that hit me, this is my, I don't know, maybe 5th or 6th event. And I'm a very slow grower / sponsor monster, as Jessica called it. But I think one of the things that hit me with a lot of the speakers this celebration that hasn't come out before is like, in the past, they've pulled out like quick builders or those that have had really quick success and run hard. And I think can be a little bit discouraging for people like myself that are a little slower growing. And so I feel like what came out in this particular conference was there was a lot of people that started to build at like year 2, 3, 4. So they've been there for like 2 to 5 years on the product, and then they caught the vision and started building, and that was okay too. And that they still found success. And so for me, that really resonated this time. I think it was someone on Hillary Courtney's team who was like, I realized I was playing at a 2.5 for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I cranked it up to a 3, and then my cycles grew from 7 to 40. It was like,
yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Someone absolutely said that. You're right. And that's perfect, you know? And I mean, we ourselves can take that time. I know Zach Slobin also uses the analogy of the crock pot. Like, you know, you can have all these people on your team who are in the crock pot. Like they're just kind of simmering, and they're just kind of like, they're here and they're showing up, and they just haven't popped yet, you know, because they haven't made the decision to really go all in and pop yet. But we just, you know, instead of being like a microwave where it's like, shoot, like it better be done, and it comes out kind of icky, not as good. You want it to be perfect in that crock pot so that when they do come out, when they actually pop, when they actually go from that 2.5 to that 3, they're like ready to go. And then it's like, yeah, boom, they can succeed. And there really is. There's a spot for every single person here. I love that. And I felt that more than ever. I mean, Emily in her closing said, no matter where you're at, you belong here. Like you belong here. Lisa.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I just have to chime in because since obviously the event was amazing, and I loved, as always, like our team and being able to spend time like one-on-one with the people in person, face-to-face that were there, and also of course the company, everybody, but just like those moments that you have after the event, going out to eat together and really talking, getting heart to hearts, you know, absolutely friends for life. And it's amazing. Also, and my eyes are opening more as I'm kind of tiptoeing into more of a job field and job search and other avenues of my life right now. Just realizing how amazing of a company Isagenix is. Like I've always worked for myself or like public school. So I don't have like a business background. I don't have anything to compare it to. It's my first network marketing experience, like any of that. So I'm very lucky and probably have been naive as far as like, oh, maybe this is just what everything is like, or whatever, what all owners are like. And just like, I'm just learning by every day I'm with the company more and more. That's like, it's absolutely not. And just had a conversation today with somebody that just kept hitting home, and it's what a lot of people are experiencing, which is, they're a dime a dozen, and they can be here today and gone tomorrow, and business politics and all about the bottom line. And it's just, I don't know that. I know like the people and the Cougars and everybody, like they care about us, like the associate, they care about everybody, and like how generous it is, and that all are welcome. And it's just, I'm like, why is like everything should be like this? But it's not.
Yes.
So
Lisa,
seeing
that's
that.
so good. Yeah. I mean, you guys, journeys, any sort of entrepreneur, it's up and down. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. Never, I can look every single one of you in the eye and say never, without any doubt, have I ever thought there was another company out there in the network marketing field that is better. Like what we have when it comes to network marketing is it doesn't exist elsewhere. Like when it comes to everything integrity, class, results, caring first about the field, generosity, compassion for humans, culture, support, everything. This is home. It really is. Barbie.
Yes. Okay. So I shared this on Kelly's Power Hour earlier. So I know there's a lot of people here that were there before, but so I'll just share it briefly. Sometimes I think that we're timid to share the opportunity side of it. We're timid to share the money aspect of it. But one of the light bulb things that actually happened prior to me going to Orlando, but was really just like opened my eyes was never underestimate the power of stories that you share when times when you're able to be there for your family, where you're the freedom and the flexibility that Isogenics has been able to provide you to be there for the moments when your family needs you most. So a silly little story, my daughter wanted me to shave her legs before I went to Orlando. And you never know when that, she's 10, you never know when that opportunity, that conversation is going to come up. But it sounds so silly that I was so incredibly grateful that I was there, that I was a present mom, and I was able to do that with her and have that experience with her before I went to Orlando. Because prior to this, I would have been like that crazy, chaotic mom that worked in corporate. And maybe by the time my daughter had asked me to do it, I would have been frazzled or frustrated after a long day at work. And so, never underestimate the power of just the stories about being able to be there for your family when they need you and when they want you. Those are so incredibly powerful. So it also just reminded me that it's not always the money that we need to share, but it's really the power of choice that Isogenics has been able to provide for us. And my last thing that I learned was from Lynn Klaus. I love her. I learned the comp plan from her. I am obsessed with the comp plan. Like, I get jacked when I get to talk about the comp plan. But one of the things that I realized is my team always goes to me for the comp plan. And my team is not going to grow and step into their power and step into truly building their business if they're always leaning on me to do the comp plan. So lift up your team if you are the person like me. Empower your team to learn the comp plan. Give them those uncomfortable times where they're really scared to take that pen or that marker and draw it out. Allison remembers very vividly the first time that I got that pen, and I was so nervous, but it now is my favorite thing in the entire world. So like, if you're the person that always draws out the comp plan, pass the marker to your team, empower them to do it. And if you are that person waiting for that marker, ask for the opportunity, but also be ready for it when you get it, because that is an incredibly powerful moment when you do get it.
Oh, boom. Yes, I love that. And say yes, even if you're scared to do it, right? I mean, Barbie was like, I don't know. And I mean, that's growth and that's growth mindset, what she is talking about, right? It just because you are away doesn't mean you will always be that way, but you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to step, you have to be, I mean, yeah, so good. So good, Barbie. And she said she's obsessed with the comp plan now. That would have never happened had she not ever said yes and done it scared. Any of this that you're doing, you will never get to hear. Emily Vavra is an incredible keynote speaker. I remember the days. She was from Minnesota. I remember the early days when she was shaky and she was nervous. And the only way she ever got to be Emily Ford, the super incredible keynote speaker, is because she said yes, even when she was shaky. That's the only reason she ever got to get to be Emily Ford she is today. So where are you shying away or not saying yes to things and not giving yourself the chance to grow into this, right? And there are some really good comments. Yes, I mean, Jamie Hochhalter said, overestimating the short-term success, underestimating the long game. We all think we can do more in a year, and we all are overestimating where we're going to be in a year and underestimating where we're going to be in 5 years, 10 years, because this is a compound effect. It's not a every 2 Fridays paycheck. It's different than that. Okay. And yes, what she said about the 7-day here too. We don't have to prove that these products are not on trial. They really are not. Zoe, I will look the Red Jacket comp plan. I know which one you're talking about. I will look and see if I can find it. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. And then yeah, okay. I'll take Tina and Jamie short, and then I want to wrap it up so that we can I know we're trying to stay with 30 minutes. So go ahead, ladies, and then I just want to go over my 5 things to do. So we can. Jamie,
I just want to add one thing and then I'll stop. So, because I typed it all out, but this was the first time that I walked away from an event and celebrate 6 years and next week. I walked away and I finally understood what everybody has been telling me for a long time, that it's not about you. And if you have the mindset to serve others, I always had a goal that was associated with money or a rank,
Yep.
and I don't this time. So for the first time, I'm like, okay.
And Jamie, how
So-
many events have you been to?
Well, I had twins. So
About how many? About how
I
many
would say,
Saturdays and big events? How many do you think?
oh gosh, Super Saturdays and Celebration and in my KO, probably 10 to 12.
Okay. And I want you guys to realize this, the power of her attending her 11th or 13th event. She just figured something out and it was time number 11 or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's the repetition. You're not going to get it all figured out the first time. You're not going to get it all figured out the first year. She's having breakthroughs. I'm having breakthroughs. I've been, I mean, I'm coming up on 9 years next month and I go to like 4 to 5 events. I've been to like 50 events, you guys. I had breakthroughs this weekend. Like it's still going to happen. Okay. So good. Tia.
I just wanted to share, I've only been to 2 events, but I've shown up on a lot of calls, and I heard that a lot this weekend from people like, she introduced me to Hillary and said she's been on every call and she's there. People notice when you're there, and I haven't spoken a lot on a lot of calls other than our little team calls here, but people notice. And I'm super excited to have that opportunity to help train on those hot minute morning calls. Like it came out of the blue.
That is awesome.
I just want to encourage people to keep showing up, even if, just show up to the meetings and
Showing up, introducing yourself, adding value. Tia adds value in everyone's life that she touches. So then it comes back to her, right? I mean, it's the stuff Jesse was talking about. The 3 C's he had, right? The congratulate, console, and compliment. Like Tia does those things, right? So she adds value. And I mean, the Jesse thing, you got to go. I'm like fired up. I'm excited I think I'm going to have my kids watch it and for sure my husband also. Okay. And then I just want to share the screen. One more. Okay. Yeah. Share my screen. Okay. So from here, and you guys, what there really is to do. This is what's next. I put 5 things. Okay. Because part of it, you guys, is seriously just going back and reviewing. There are certain segments I really want, like the Jody Tassini one. I could tell she was doing amazing, but I was also in a moment where I was like a little bit tapped out and I was like focusing, but also like thinking about other things that I had, so it's just like, I know I have to go back and rewatch that one. The James McLeod one, I had to be backstage during, getting ready for something, but I like there's just moments where you feel like, gosh, I need that one again. Maybe one totally landed and you want to rewatch it with a spouse, or so go back, rewatch, know where you are going and why, right? And as Zach said to us, the why cannot be an object or something, the why it's not something fleeting. It's not even a material like a house. It's what, and this is a great example for me because one of my whys in the season I'm in is to be able to move onto the lake in the town we live, Prior Lake. And that's a house. That's a tangible material house. But based on what he was saying, I need to dig deeper. What I actually want, you guys, is a place where I can entertain and gather all of the people that I love and generate that feeling and just provide just food and drinks and parties and memories at the place that we have, boating and swimming. I just picture it and it's the feeling, it's the experience so much. It's not just about the house, right? It's about being able to do and make memories for me. Make a plan for fall, set up accountability, set up your schedule. Are you going to commit to the Monday night calls? Are you going to commit to the weekly huddle, the Monday huddles with Kelly? Are you going to commit to the Tuesday morning company vision calls? Whatever it is, set it up and tell your mentor what those things are. Set your commitment, set your goals, set your plan of action. Only you know what that is. Are you going to post? Are you going to do stories every day, 7 days a week? Are you going to do a post every day? You're going to be super consistent in your product groups, like whatever it is, get it all down on paper. If it's not written down, it's not real. Like I've learned that from stage many times. And then share your goals and your why with your family. Make sure you're telling the people who are close in your life so that they can see that you're doing these things, and then celebrate along the way, right? So if you enlist the people in your life, when mommy does this, we will go out for froyo. Or when mommy does this, we will take a day and go to the amusement park in town, or whatever it is. You know, it's funny, I went to Froyo tonight and we're going to an amusement park tomorrow. So these are very relevant things. Today is actually our 13-year wedding anniversary. So we're celebrating for other reasons. So, but that's funny. And then PVC 1, 2, 3, you guys, messy action. Kelly always says ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. We can spend too much time in the knowledge piece, you guys. We all can. And the worrying and the thinking and the overthinking and but I would do it like Lynn, but I don't like how she said it. It doesn't sound like me that way, so I'm just not going to do it. No, messy action. The times my business has grown the most have been during seasons of messy, crazy action. And if you could see some of the things, and you can, if you ever want to sit down and talk about it, the emails that I've sent off and the messages and the phone calls and the, you know, all the things, the chiropractors and the doctors and the random people that I just was like, I need to tell you about this. Give me 30 minutes of your time. That's the messy action. I have had growth seasons of that. I have had seasons where I have not done as much of that. I guarantee you the messy action produces more fruit. And you change more lives in that process. And then make a commitment to yourself. Make a commitment to me. Make a commitment to yourself, your mentor, that no matter what, you will be here until you achieve it. Whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you know, right? You know, I really like the activity of get a little index card, put the date. Today is August 15th. Put August 15th, 2023. I will still be here, or I will be here, and like tape it on your mirror or on your desk or on your laptop. 1 year from today, you'll still be here. Because I mean, the day that you stop, you know, that you're not showing up anymore for your business, plugging in, doing the things, right? Mindset, skills, and action. That's like the three things we're always growing. You got to be in action. You got to work on your mindset and your skills, all that. As long as you're working on those things and you're here, the time will come where it pops, like that example of the 7 to 44 cycles. That's huge. Absolutely. Terry, you can shoot me a message, or if it's your enrolling sponsor or not, it doesn't have to be your enrolling sponsor. You can certainly go up the chain to find, shoot me, you know, I'm happy to help with figuring out exactly where that would be for you. I would love to. And then, yeah, good. So much knowledge, Zoe. Cool. And Zoe, I'm going to go look up that video for you, and I'll put it in Impact Makers because others on here might also be wondering about it. Okay, you guys. Sarah, I love it. I know you will. Okay. That's all we have. I went 9 minutes over. Love you guys. Have a great week. Actually, I hope to see you on the call tomorrow morning, because before we go to Valley Fair, the amusement park in town, 9 a.m. here, I am getting on that call because Zach is going to bring it, and I'm pumped. So have a good, Valley Fair tomorrow. Have a good week, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye, everyone.